Okay, so we have now been asked to write a program that displays random numbers between -50 and +50 until the number 0 is generated. And then when the program's done, we're going to display how many numbers were printed above or below 0 and the percentage of positive and negative numbers that showed up before that happened. All right. So again, we need another random number, so we will import that random library. We're going to need variables for counting positive and negative values. So maybe count p, and they need to start at 0, count n. Then we need a conditional loop. So loop until 0 is generated. So I'm going to use an infinite loop here. Okay. And it's got to generate a random number between -50 and +50, and we'll print that number to the screen. And now we're going to check and count how many are positive, how many are negative, and if we get to a 0, then we're going to stop. So if our num is bigger than 0, we will increase count positive. And if it's not bigger than 0, we will check that it's less than 0, and we'll increase count negative if that is the case. And if it's not positive and it's not negative, then it must have been 0, so I should stop the loop. Okay. So now what does it ask us to do? We need to see what the percentage was of positive versus negative numbers, and I can't include 0 in that equal, so percent values. So I need to know the total number of numbers I'm counting to do the percentage. So that's count p plus count n. And then my percent positive is the count p divided by the total times 100. And my percent negative is my count n divided by the total times 100. Okay. And then I can just display the results to the screen. So percent positive equals, and we'll do percent positive, and we'll print the same thing. Should add up to 100, right? We might get some rounding errors there. Well, I'm not rounding at all, but if you were to round, you might see that not exactly add up to 100 depending on what was entered, but it's not the point of the program. Okay, so I think that should accomplish our task. Whoa. Okay, so a whole bunch of random numbers were generated there. Okay, and it stopped. I'm not sure if I'm displaying it. It stops when I get to 0. Okay, it's displaying the number all the time, so I can tell what's going on. And 55% were positive, 44 were negative. Okay, that if you looked at all the decimals, that would add up to 100. Okay, and same thing here. It is clearly stopping at 100. Okay. And it's not a surprise that it's generating roughly the same amount of positive and negative numbers in this sense. The distribution of the random number must be fairly uniform, if you know anything about math probability. A little bit off there, but it is working the way we expect it to work.